And what's up, everybody? We're here on a Wednesday evening, D&D. Wednesday D&D is back. We're here. Everyone's made it. So, just a couple of announcements before we get into tonight's recap and bits and pieces. Again, I want to extend a thank you to Mr. Grimm for Monday night hanging out with me while we talked about the upcoming 1D&D playtest material that they've released in UA form. Obviously, it's not set in stone yet, so we had a bit of a discussion about the new race, the new backgrounds and features set up, and a few of the new rules that they're looking at implementing. And it was a good discussion. We had a lot. I enjoyed it. We got some differing opinions. Mostly Grim and I agreed on pretty much just about everything to do with it, more or less. But definitely looking forward to seeing what more D&D Beyond and Wizards have in store for us with more UA stuff coming out in the future. When it does, we're doing the same thing. We're jumping on it, going over it on stream and looking at it, have a discussion about it. We will, on our channel, or my channel, we will not be implementing any of that playtest material because we, on the content we do have, Lost Minds and Paradigm 2 has already started in the 5th edition rule set, so I think it would be a little unfair to try and get these guys, especially the newer players, to try and understand maybe changing some of these rules and how they're set up when we're already sort of into it and that. In saying that, what I may do at some point in the future, again, I'm not entirely sure how it will work, but I may look at doing a one-shot or maybe a 2-part or 3-part mini-adventure utilizing some of this UA material. So something I've got to sort of flesh out, see how it would possibly work. I will probably ask for more experienced players in that respect. Purely because just a little bit of knowledge of how that stuff works will definitely help. And it'll probably only be like 2 or 3 players just to try and sort of work out how these that sort of stuff will work together. But that will be sort of come up in the Guilded at some point. So keep an eye out for that. This coming Sunday will be a return of the Vampire the Masquerade crew for a Q&A on our story. So we did come to a conclusion on our chronicle last week. A very intense last episode. It was very, very well done. I believe it. I don't know that I've put it up on YouTube yet. I can't remember. I think I have. I'm pretty sure I have. Someone can confirm that for me, but I'm pretty sure I have. Go check it out. It was a lot of fun. But we'll be coming back this coming Sunday for a Q&A, like we usually have done. We'll talk to the storyteller, we'll talk to the players about their decisions and what they did, and like Baz might give us some information that we missed, because we probably missed a lot, and we probably screwed with him on a lot of things too that made him change what he was doing. The following Sunday, 4th of September, which just happens to be Father's Day, will be the return of Paradigm 2 Shadow's Embrace. So definitely come back and join us then to and what we'll be doing with that will be I'll do an overall story recap, and then obviously a session recap from the previous session. We will reintroduce our players and characters because we've been away for quite some time, so we'll reintroduce the players and characters, and then we'll get back into that. So that'll be a bit of fun. Looking forward to that. Re-exploring the realm of Paradigm, which is my homebrew world, a world of my creation. Not just mine, several people have had sort of their hands in there as well, helping out sort of mold this world. So I don't think we have anything else to announce before we start getting into tonight's session. So without any further ado, I welcome you all to another Wednesday night D&D Lost Minds with Mr. Trashman over there. Over in the corner, we've got Mr. JJ Aussie Punk. Down below, Mr. Grim Realities and Mr. Erico joining us with their respective characters. They did level up last session, so they're all now level 2. So a little bit more HP and maybe a little bit more hearty than they were before. But last we left off, you had all entered Phandalin and found your way to Barthen's Provisions to drop off the supplies that you had escorted from Waterdeep. Neverwinter. Jeez, I've been doing a lot of Waterdeep stuff lately. So once there, you walked inside, you talked to Elmer Barthen, and he was quite happy that the supplies had arrived. You informed him of the incident with the rest of the supplies that you found at the Goblin ambush site. He expressed relative concern for his friend Gundren, the dwarf, your benefactor, and he had a minor run-in with a couple of shady individuals at the door. From there, you headed to the Stonehill Inn, where you had food, you had drink, you caught up with Sildar Hallwinter. He paid you the gold that he offered for aiding in his rescue. And there was a little bit of back and forth, you guys, during that. At one point, Arcos disappeared outside to relieve himself and was met by a rather shady character there also, with a bit of a warning. You then rested. Sometime during the evening, two of you left your doors unlocked, and Youngblood had a few items stolen from his pack. And after confronting Arcos about it, on the suggestion of Xanxus that you should probably check out the rogue of the group, or the shady rabbit that is with you, Arcos inspecting his pack and finding some extra items in there that did not belong to him. Seems that someone might be attempting to sow some discourse within the group, perhaps. Arcos quickly dispersing of those items, and eventually you guys replaced them as you headed towards the Lion Shield Costa after collecting your gold from Elmer Barthen as well. Heading to Lion Shield Costa, you bought yourself some potions and bits and pieces and restocked anything that you were missing as far as the items in Youngblood's pack. However, upon leaving the Lion Shield Costa, you found yourselves face to face with a dark armored individual with several other rough looking characters, a couple that you've already seen and run into in Phandalin. And essentially this is where we rejoin you guys now, as the dark armored figure had looked at you and simply said, not removing their gaze from Arcos, locking eye contact with you, Arcos, simply said you were warned. So we will switch over to a different map. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. As you are now standing outside of the Lion Shield Costa, the individuals standing within a reasonable distance, not too close, sort of 20-25 feet away from where you are, and this individual here, the one in the dark armor, has literally just stated, you were warned. He looks again across. I mean, they haven't got their weapons drawn. They are in a semi-aggressive sort of formation. Is there any reaction from you guys at this point? Do you say anything, or do you just act? I'll turn it over to you as a group.
Yo, what's going on? Don't have any trouble? You okay, mate? Mates?
I think they want to cut you a new arsehole, big fella.
Nah. Maybe we can just talk this out. Maybe we can talk it out. I don't need any bloodshed on my arsehole split.
The individual in the dark armor sort of raises an eyebrow and looks at his companions and says, well, unfortunately, you do not have the luxury of making that choice. You see, my employer was quite specific about what was to happen here. So, lay down your packs and your weapons. Leave town. Don't come back. And you'll escape with your lives. Or not. In which case we'll have a wee bit of fun.
Did Grim tell us what happened to him? I can't remember.
No.
No. We don't know what you're talking about. You told us to leave, no one told us to leave.
I just did.
Yeah, I met that shadowy fucker last night.
You said, so you told Bugs to leave. Okay, I'm not, that's okay. You said you told us before now, so I'm just trying to get fully understanding here.
You are together. I assumed you would share information. Clearly not, but no matter.
You got me wondering now what you guys have got in your packs. You might want to lay yours down and we might clean them out for ourselves.
Interesting.
Oh shit, you got feathers ruffled. That's not a good sign.
He's never ruffled. He's the calm one.
And you see this individual's not phased by anything you guys are saying. He remains fairly stoic. The four others sort of getting themselves into a more battle-ready position, shall we say. Still haven't drawn their weapons, but they're definitely prepared. Xanxus.
I'd like to take one step forward.
You can take one step forward if you wish.
Cool.
As you start to step forward, the individual in the dark armor hand to hilt and just raises a hand and says, "Be very careful what you do next." One last chance. Lay down your weapons and your packs, and you may go free.
Do what you want, Blue Boy. This guy talks too fucking
With that,
slow.
I cast Xanxus Lightning Dash.
Hey.
Before you try and cast it, as you go to move, it has a somatic component, yes?
Yes.
As
Verbal
you
somatic.
move, you go to move, and you move in a way that suggests you're going to do something, and the guy in the dark armor raises his fingers to his lips and just goes, and your spell, unfortunately, as you complete the cast and release it, nothing happens. So you do use a spell slot, but your spell does not come into effect. And with that, we will give me one second here. Oh, hang on. I've got a thing here. I was in the wrong thing, me jiggy. Roll initiative, people. Roll the NPCs.
I've forgotten where the fuck it is now.
You can do it from if you top right of your Foundry, JJ, there's a little fist.
Yeah, I found it.
Yep.
Pretty sure that's right.
Looks like we
Initiative.
have... Yep, everyone's rolled combat. Everyone's rolled initiative. We're good. So, as we can see there, one of these individuals has gotten the initiative in this particular attack. So, Xanxus, as you go to release your spell and nothing happens, how do you react to that? Just as a bit of flavor before we move forward.
I reckon I'd be fairly pissed off, so I'll throw a dagger at him.
Well, you can't do anything just yet because it's not your turn, but you can get ready to do that if you wish, as this individual here gets the drop on you and moves forward almost in a flanking style position. He doesn't go directly into combat with you at this point, well, not into range combat. He will, however, target you, Xanxus, and he will attempt to attack you with a longbow, which misses. He draws his bow, fires quickly as he's moving, and it strikes the dirt just beside you. You almost get the impression, maybe, was that a warning shot, or did he just miss me? You're not entirely sure. With that, it is the dark armored individual's turn. Once again, he takes a couple of steps forward and looks again, not taking his eyes off you, Arcos. He seems very interested in you, and simply says, do you wish your friends to maybe fall this day? Or maybe they're not your friends, perhaps. And he will take a shot, but he's not intending on hitting you, Arcos. He fires an arrow that lands directly at your feet. Black fletchling, same as the goblins that you struck earlier, but a much finer arrow. In fact, it's an arrow you've seen before also, probably a year ago on the deck of a ship. So that he's gonna that's all he's gonna do. Youngblood, it is now your turn with Xanxus on board. So no one's hit anybody yet. You've had a couple of arrows strike the dirt close to where you are standing. Yeah. Whether you are just taking this as a hostile intention or what is up to you, but what is Youngblood doing in this particular moment?
Move it forward a little bit. Okay, got a joke for you. What's brown, long, and gets sticky?
You get no response. You might get a raised eyebrow from the dude in the black armor. The rest of them sort of just don't seem to be taking much notice.
Ask again. What's brown, long, and gets sticky?
No response.
My fucking whip. Now fuck off. No, end my turn.
You're gonna end your turn there? No worries. Yeah. So that is your turn, Xanxus. It is now your turn. What is Xanxus doing?
I'm going to try the lightning dash again. Hang on, I suppose I should go and target the one I want to attack.
Well, remember it's a straight line, so you just got to put it in whatever line direction you wish. So yeah.
Yeah. That one. No. How does this work? According to this, I have no. What? I thought we had a long rest.
Hang on, let me double check your sheet.
It's saying I've got no slots left.
We had a long rest, but I don't think any of us actually pressed the button because
no, that would have been me testing, so that should be fixed. Although you'll be down to 2 slots, not 1, not 3. So just I'll remove a slot.
Cool.
So you're down to 1 first level spell slot now. So
yeah.
Okay, so we need to make a dexterity saving throw for this individual, which he fails. So he will take the full brunt of that 14 lightning damage.
And that puts me to there, I assume.
It does indeed, and you can delete that template when you're finished as well. Actually, no, you don't need to. It should delete automatically on end of your turn.
And nope, I want that.
And you should now be concentrating also, I believe. Oh no, no, shouldn't be.
No, not on that one.
What is that condition it's given you? Oh, that's just a spell. That's the template.
Yes.
Here we go.
Done.
Awesome.
Oh, I think it's done.
Yep, no, it's done.
Cool.
So with that, I don't know what that condition is, but never mind. We'll figure that out. Oh, I know what it is. That was me fucking around. I can fix that. Here we go. So that is your turn. The next one up is this guy. Sort of seeing what's going on now, seeing that someone's attacked, he moves his full movement directly towards you, Xankus, as you're the one that has attacked, and he shoots with a bow and misses. Not having fun times. That is his turn. Who? It is now your turn, as Xankus has surged forward and made his attack on that first individual.
Okay, I'm gonna target.
So alt click to target.
Oh, that's right. And I'm going to use Guiding Bolt on him.
No problem. Misses, unfortunately.
And I do have a bonus action. I'm going to use my bonus action, which is Shield of Faith, on Arcos.
Are you able to Shield of Faith as a bonus action?
Yep, it says bonus action on there.
You cannot, because it's a leveled spell. You can't use two leveled spells in the same turn. You've used Guiding Bolt already. Has to be a cantrip, even if it is a bonus action.
Okay. Well, that's confusing. I'll talk and clear that one. I'm a little bit later with you because it's.
No, all it means is you can only cast one leveled spell and a cantrip in the same turn. Doesn't matter whether it's bonus action. You can't cast two level spells. So if you've cast Guiding Bolt, which is a level 1 spell, you can't cast another level 1 spell in the same turn, even if it says it's a bonus action. It's because it takes the same amount of time to cast as it's a leveled spell. It's how they work it. So cantrip and leveled spell in the same turn. So if you wanted
That's confusing, but yeah, no worries.
It's not really that confusing when you think about it. It's just you can't cast two leveled spells in the same turn. It has to be a cantrip or a spell. So that'll be you. So next up is the next ruffian. He's going to move straight into you, Youngblood, and he's going to make a two short sword attacks against you. Misses, as Youngblood has an 18 AC. The second attack misses as well. You manage to duck and weave and sort of move, and he strikes nothing but your armor as he moves into you. Arcos, is now your turn.
So Arcos stares at the shadowy figure across the way, and he's sort of like, he's gripping, like he's got a dagger in one hand and a short sword in the other, and he's gripping them really tight. And then he looks towards Youngblood and sees that he's got a guy there, and he sort of just decides he's going to go there.
Roll at advantage, flanking.
And he's sort of looking over at his shoulder at the guy still, but
no worries.
He's made his choice.
Yeah, I'll explain further when we're off camera
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
fine, mate. No, that's fine. That's fine. No worries.
Just to make sure we get the clarification.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine.
It hits 5 slashing damage. Which was your first? Short sword was your first attack? Was that main hand or offhand? Give us some flavor. So main hand with a short sword, slashing across his lower back.
Yep. So with sneak attack damage.
With a sneak attack, as he's another 3 points of damage. He's looking a little worse for wear, but he's still standing. So he's not quite bloodied. Like he's taken a bit of damage. Seems pretty hearty.
So he's carved deep into his back, and he's going to try and get the dagger and stab it into the wound he's created.
No worries. So offhand attack.
Hey, do it.
Do it good. That would have been an advantage too, dude.
Oh yeah.
So I'll get you to roll your d20 again. Still would have missed.
Still crap. I mean, still missed.
Still crap. Yes, it's crap. Is that your turn, Arcos?
Yes, that would be my turn.
No problem. Next up, we have another of the ruffian individuals. Seems to be hanging back a little bit. He does move forward a few steps, and he will make a shot at Zankus. Not seeing, like, even though who cast something, it didn't do any damage. Zankus has created a fair amount of damage to his friend, so he's going to fire his bow at you, which will definitely hit. And Zankus takes 6 points of piercing damage as you get an arrow just streaks across the way. You're sort of focusing on this guy in front of you, and next thing you know, you've got an arrow sticking out of your ribs. Struck a lung. It's making it a little hard to breathe as Zankus is looking a little bloody over there. And that is his turn. It is now Sildar's turn. Sildar, so that who you're probably closest to him, you hear him, fucking Redbrand, and he surges forward into this dude here. And he will make his long sword attack, which is 2 of. The first one, 16. Doing 5 points of damage, and just thrust forward right into his chest, dropping the individual to his knees. And you see him put his foot on the dude's chest and pull the sword out as he pushes him to the ground. He's only moved 10 feet. He sort of looks around, seeing who could possibly be close enough to him, which is this individual, and moves in and makes his second attack there. Unfortunately, maybe the movement wasn't enough, striking nothing but armor on that individual. Back to the top of the initiative order with the darkened armored individual. Again, has not taken his eyes off you, Arcos. You're sort of peering over your shoulder as you've attacked, and he just moves into melee with you. Oh, I'm going to enjoy this, he says as he grins. And he will strike at you with a dagger, missing his first. His second attack also missing, but he will make one offhand attack also misses. Seems he's not used to fighting someone as spry and as quick as the Herengon. You almost sense the incoming attacks as he stabs forward with the first, slashes with the second, and then his offhand attack trying to come in almost in that kidney section, and you just parry with the short sword, move out of the way of the others. And that is his turn. Youngblood, back to you. You now have an individual standing right in front of you.
Oh, hey there, bud. Why can't we all just be friends? Calm down. Why don't we have a hug? I'm gonna pick him up and squeeze me like into a bear hug.
So strength versus strength on this one. Give me 1 second. I will get a roll for you. You gonna try and grapple him?
Yeah, into like a bear hug type submission move.
No worries. This will be a contested strength. So there we go.
Come on, baby.
He rolls a 9. Unfortunately, he beats you with his 9. So you reach forward to go and grab him, and he seems to be a little stronger than you. Gets an arm up inside your forearm. Goes into almost to try and grapple you as well, but then just fends you off with his arm and drops your arms back down to your side. Sort of looks at you and goes, ha! That would be your action. What you, if you have a bonus action, you can do that, or you can move. Up to you, or stay where you are.
I'll stay where I am.
Okay. That ends your turn. Zankus, is now your turn. You see Sildar surge forward and into the individual in front of you, missing his attack, however. Oh, he's going to do it again. Bear in mind, if you do cross an ally, they will have to make the save also. You cannot put it there, Trash. It has to come directly from you, because you could only dash 60 feet. So it will have to go here, and you can rotate it as well. So you can get both of those guys, and you're muted, by the way.
That's the direction I was heading for.
Yeah. It has to come. The lightning dash has to come from you because it's only 30 feet.
Yeah,
you can move.
I know that. It was a misclick. Thank you.
So, I will roll some dice for these guys then.
Yeah, and that puts me.
It does put you there because what you guys see. I should have explained this before. This is a new spell. So what you guys see is you see Zankus start to spark and crackle and electrical energy. And then he vanishes, and a streak of lightning shoots out 30 feet in a straight line, and then he reappears at the end of that line. And we get some saves here. So we get a 15 and a 17, so they're both safe. They will both still take damage, but only half.
I believe. Yeah.
So they still take the damage, but only half of it as he shoots forward.
So with the bonus, I can use Shocking Grasp.
Is it a cantrip?
Yes.
Yes, as long as it's a cantrip, and as long
Never
as
mind.
it is a bonus. You miss. So unfortunately, you miss. So
And
with
that's it.
that, yes, this individual here is now going to change his target because he can no longer target you. And he's engaged with Sildar, so he's going to make his attacks on Sildar. He's looking a little hurt, but he makes 2 short sword attacks. The first, missing the veteran warrior. The veteran warrior seems to moves quite quickly, strikes armor. Sildar is going to parry this when he actually clicks it. He still takes damage, but takes less as he uses his reaction to parry the attack. That is his turn. It is now your turn. You've seen Zankus just streak across in lightning, sort of vanish and reappear twice now.
Okay, I'm targeting the one between Arcos and Youngblood. I'm going to use Toll of the Dead.
No problem. Toll of the Dead. Let's see, we've got a wisdom save here of 13. Let's see if we've got a failure or success. I believe, what's the failure on that? 13, so he failed. So he will take the D12 damage because he has taken a hit. So the Toll of the Dead, I mean, you would hear it, I would say you would hear it ring out, no one else would. You hear the tolling of the church-style bell, and he would hear it very loud in his ears and head, and his eyes almost water at the pain as the energy, the necrotic energy just surges through his body. He's not looking too happy.
Okay. And now I can use my bonus action, which is Shield of Faith. I'm going to put it on Arcos.
You certainly can, because your Toll of the Dead was a cantrip. Well done. So you can target him. You are now concentrating, and this is where we can use something really cool, because I can now find my Shield of Faith and add it
So
to
Shimmering
Arcos.
Field appears and surrounds a creature of your choice within range, granting it a +2 bonus to AC for the duration.
It certainly does. So Arcos's, your AC should now be 16 instead of 14, and it should automatically have changed, and I can see that's changed on my end. So and that is concentration, so whenever you are hit, it should prompt you to make a concentration save. But we should be good. So that is your turn, as the light is now shimmering around Arcos. So Arcos, you'd probably see it as well. You get this little shimmering sort of field of energy that sparkles around your whole body, and it you feel better protected for it. It's now this dude's turn. He's going to continue to wail on you, Youngblood, because you're right in front of him, so why not? Two short sword attacks. The first one misses. These guys are not having a good time. Maybe they're a little drunk. This one also misses. You're just too good. Parrying each shot, just moving, just going, dude, you're shit, you can't hit me. It is now Arcos's turn.
Alright, so Arcos is gonna still concentrate on the one in front of him.
Yep. And you still get it at advantage because you are still flanking.
He's gonna use his dagger on this, his offhand. So my thing. I pressed alt clicked and everything.
Yeah. It's summary. I'm not sure why it's not giving it to you. Just roll it again. Well, I hit him anyway, so.
Yeah.
So he definitely took the damage. He's still alive.
Yep.
Just.
7 piercing damage. So it sort of gets in the back again, sort of getting a bit frustrated. He sort of tries to scramble up his back and hold his head and try and get the short sword in his neck.
No worries. Roll to hit. See if we can get this rolling with advantage again. If it doesn't roll with advantage, if it misses, just roll it again. See, that one did.
Did it that time.
That definitely hits. And you certainly do so. You grab onto his shirt, pull yourself up. You're dexterous enough, no need for a check there. And you grip the short sword in a dagger-like fashion and just drive it into the base of the neck between the collarbone and the rib cage.
Yeah, so he digs it in and comes off and possibly has like a handful of hair, and then he sort of spins around and he holds the short sword out to Fuckface.
No
He's like,
problem.
your turn, Fuckface.
No problem. Indeed, you put yourself in a position you're now facing the dark armored individual or not?
Yeah, facing him, so he jumps off and flips around and...
No problem. He just he grins back at you like he's been waiting for this almost. Next up, this individual, as you've streaked through him and just he's still sort of holding his armor. You see smoke wisping off his body where the lightning has definitely done some damage. Zankus, and he turns and makes his 2 attacks at you. The first definitely hitting you, doing 3 points of piercing damage. You're not looking healthy, but the second attack definitely hits, which plunges Zankus into unconsciousness as a double sword attack, just backwards and forwards. No finesse to it at all. Nothing like Arcos. Literally just holds it up and slashes across his gut and slashes it back across his chest, opening up a large wound. And as he does so, Zankus, you fall to the ground unconscious. Remember, private GM, your death saves to me using the custom dice. Or make a death save privately to me, just private GM roll. That is the end of his turn. It is Sildar's turn. He is getting a little angry that he couldn't hit this dude before. So he now long sword attack, double attack on this guy. Again, missing, not finding his target. The second attack, better. Striking hard, striking true. 7 points of damage there. And he summons up his energy and makes one more attack as an offhand attack with his... Whoops, not that button. Wrong button! Not finding his target. So that is his bonus action for that. Back to the top with the dark armored individual. Looks directly at you. Grins. And vanishes from sight. He then reappears next to Sildar, and you probably all hear this. He's not being quiet about it. He says to Sildar, "We told you and the dwarf that we would be coming for you, yet you did not heed the warning. No matter." And he makes 2 attacks on Sildar, both with advantage, as he has an ally within 5 feet. Which is not... Why did that not roll its damage? Oh, it's because of the parry. It took a while for it to come up.
You hit me too.
But I hit you too. Shit, I'll remove that. Sorry, I had you targeted as well. How much damage did you take? 6 and 7, so 13. I can heal that back to you because I'm good like that. Done. But Sildar will take that damage definitely, and he's not looking too good. That is that individual's turn. Youngblood, it is your turn.
I'm going to use my dash. Run after the guy.
Right, you've got 30 feet of movement naturally.
Isn't dash like running?
Dash is double your movement speed. It takes your action. You can move 30 feet in a run as your movement. Okay. So you don't actually have to dash, but so you can move, and all these guys are within 30 feet, so you can get wherever you want to go.
Okay. So one that killed Blue Man. I can't remember how to.
That one. So just use your arrow keys. So just highlight your token, and you can use your arrow keys to move.
No. I'm gonna dash over here. I'm running.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna go. That's my friend, and throw. I'm gonna jump into a super punch straight to his face.
So roll to hit, unarmed strike.
Where is it? I can't find it
on your sheet. It will be under your. It's under your inventory, under your crossbow. Unarmed strike. So he's got to target him. So make sure you've got him targeted.
Is it control?
Alt click to target. There we go. And then roll your unarmed strike.
Where's the stroke? So I clicked on my crossbow.
It's below your crossbow, directly below your crossbow.
In
your inventory.
I have to go to inventory. I'm in the other
Oh,
part.
you're on the HUD?
Yeah, I'm in the HUD.
Okay, let me bring that up. I can figure out where it is.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Ah, I will put it on your HUD. We hadn't put it on there.
Okay.
So you should now see it on your HUD next to your whip.
There we go. Sweet.
Nice. So unfortunately you miss. You go to Superman punch him and you miss him.
DM's Imperation gave me a few weeks ago. What's that do?
Yes, that will give you a re-roll on that. So re-roll it.
I want to do that.
Just do the same thing again. That's better.
There we go.
That hits and does 4 points of bludgeoning damage. He's not downed, but he's not looking good. He's a little bloody. Is that your turn, Youngblood?
I want to use a bonus action. Second wind can give me another bonus action.
Second wind will give you a healing. What you're looking at is action surge, which will give you the attack
surge
again. Let's see if you. I think you've got action surge. Yes, you
maybe
do.
Not. Oh shit! I just clicked it by accident. Sorry.
No, you're good. You've got it. So action surge literally gives you that attack again. So you badly miss, unfortunately, with a natural 1. I would say you don't take any damage, but you've jarred your wrist. As you've smacked him, he's turned his shoulder, and you've hit him on the top of the armor, and it's heavily jarred your wrist. So action surge. You have used.
No, be it.
So I will just mark that as used on your sheet for you. So there we go. So that's your turn. Zankus, your first death save.
Do you want a blind one or a private?
Blind GM, I think it's called. Because only I should be able to see it then. Cool. Thank you.
No one else saw that?
No one else
Good.
saw that? Nope. So thank you for that. That is yours. This Ruffian's turn now. He is also going to make his double strikes at Sildar. As he would have been instructed to do so. He misses his second attack. Sildar is going to parry this one. Still hits him, but only for 3. That is his turn. Sildar's not looking to crash hot either. Pooh, it is now your turn. You're seeing all this sort of unfolding in front of you. There's carnage everywhere. Everyone's looking pretty rough. And you've got Zankus that's down.
I'm going to move up here between Zankus and Youngblood.
No problem.
And I'm going to target this one here for Toll of the Dead.
Yep. Cast away. He needs to make a wisdom save, which he fails. And he will also take the full brunt of the damage.
Okay, so since this was a confusing one, can I use, which one was it? I was looking at it.
So you can use a leveled spell now.
Healing word on Zankus.
Hang on a minute, let's see. So you got Toll the Dead. Is Toll the Dead an action to cast or a bonus action?
Toll the Dead's a cantrip.
Yeah, but is it casting an action or a bonus action?
No, I think it's classed it's an action.
I think it's an action. Yeah, one action.
Yeah,
so you can only cast a bonus action spell, leveled spell.
Okay, which is healing word.
believe Healing Word is a bonus action to cast. Yes. So
Yep,
you
a
can
creature
cast
of your
Healing Word.
choice that you can see within range regains hit points the equal of
Yep.
1d4.
So you can target Xankus and cast that. Definitely.
Healing Word.
Which will be your final leveled spell, I believe. So Xankus, you are now conscious, but prone. So bear that in mind. You are prone. Mark yourself as prone with the conditions, if you remember how. If you don't, let me know and I can do it. I need to turn those effects off though. You are now prone.
Well, the question would be, would that, just a quick question,
Yes,
and
sir.
it's okay if it's not, would that Toll of the Dead should have been rolled at advantage for flanking?
Doesn't work the same with spells,
That's what
unfortunately.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
it works a little differently, and technically you'd have to be behind him to be flanking. So,
Sweet.
yeah.
Sweet.
In some instances I'll allow it. It really just depends on the circumstances.
If I was where Xanxus was like before, that's happened before. We
Yeah,
were,
if you were here, completely opposite of Youngblood, who's engaged with this guy, then I
Yeah.
possibly would have given it to you at advantage.
Sweet.
But it's
No
not.
worries.
It wasn't a roll to hit spell, so it's a little different. It's generally
yeah,
anything on a
cool.
roll to hit, normally.
Cool.
So that is your turn. Who? It is now Arcos' turn.
So Arcos seeing Blue Man sort of bring in that sort of deep breath of sort of,
Yep.
you know, not being dead. He's gonna full charge towards the guy in the cloak, realizing to get to him, he's gonna have to put a bit more effort in. He's gonna
Yep.
use dash, which I can use as a cunning action in my bonus
You
action now.
certainly can.
He's gonna swing around behind him.
Beautiful.
He's gonna say, "Oh, a magic user, hey? Well, how about you use mirror image and go fuck yourself?" And then he's gonna stab him with a short sword in the back.
At advantage because of flanking, please, sir. That is awesome. That definitely hits. Only 4 points of piercing damage, however, but still a hit. And he takes the hit. Pissed. Your second. Do you get 2 attacks yet or not?
No.
No, sneak attack though.
And
You
because
do
I-
get.
Oh, yes.
But you do have your offhand as well.
Yeah, but because I used my bonus action to dash,
You don't get that
don't-
yet,
yeah,
but you
don't
still
get
get your sneak attack.
I sure do. Where are you? Press the right button, Bruno. It's all good. Oh, what is that?
No, yeah, maybe you're a little bit emotional at the moment with the realization that who this individual may or may not be. You're not quite focusing on your attacks. You're not really doing as much damage as you would hoped, but you're definitely still there and doing damage. Is
Yeah.
that your turn?
That is my turn.
So, oops, we'll go back one. It is now this guy's turn. He's had 2 people come into him and really lay into him. So he's going to focus his attack on you, Youngblood, as you're the biggest target. Short sword attack first. About time. So he hits you with the first. Why is that not rolling its damage? Oh, you might have a reaction. Did something pop up for you? There we go. So it hits you and did 7 points of damage. The second attack will probably also pop that up as well. If you don't want to use it, just click the delete button on it, the trash can. I can't remember what it is. I might turn that reactions thing off. But either click it or delete it, one of the two. Or both. Doesn't worry me. I think the second one missed you, so we're good.
Popped up first time, being the second time.
Okay, so
I won't use it.
oh, yeah, no,
anymore.
you're good. Yeah, so it missed you the second time anyway. So he hits you with the first, missed with the second, and he's just sort of swinging wildly. Get himself in a bit of a predicament here. He knows he's surrounded. In fact, he is going to... No, he's not. Yes, he is. No, he's not. Yes, he is. As a bonus action, he is going to draw on some energies. And you watch as a couple of one of the open wounds starts to knit together as he sort of psychs himself up, takes a deep breath in. Youngblood, you would recognize this particular ability as it's one that you have as well, as a fighter. With that, is now Sildar's turn, and he's looking at this dude and just literally just says, "And fuck you." Changes his target to this individual in between you, Arcos, which will give him advantage on his attacks against him as well, which is 2 of. The first one hits with an 18. 6 points of slashing damage as he strikes the sword up, down in a downward motion into the shoulder. The second also hits. And a further 4 points of damage with a thrust into the gut. And he just grins. And with a bonus action, he is going to use his ability to get a little bit of health back as well. That is his turn. Back to the top, which will be this individual. Seeing the predicament he is in, looking over his shoulder at you, Arcos, looking at where Sildar is, and sort of looks and goes, peasants. And he will... What is he going to do? Do that once more. He is going to do exactly what he did before. Misty Step. And steps away from you, vanishing and reappearing at some distance away from you. What he also does, however, is he takes one shot at you, Arcos, with a longbow. And you take 9 points of bludgeoning damage as the arrow strikes true, center mass, just below your sternum. It hurts. It was a deep shot. He full draw, so it definitely hurt a lot. And he sort of grins as he lets the bow go. Youngblood, it is now your turn. I think you might be muted, JJ. Or not.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah,
Trying to figure stuff out.
It's all good.
Um,
So you've still got this guy here alive.
where's the move you made me?
So that won't be, that'll be under features on your HUD. So on your HUD,
Use feature.
if you go use feature,
Really, my fighting style things.
the other one, there's the one,
Oh, yep. No.
there's the red one,
The red
No.
one brings up my
Blue
fighting
one.
style.
action surge. Hang on, we might have to see. What did I put it under? Because it's on your character sheet. What we might have to do is, let's see if we can drag it out here. So I've dragged it out next to your unarmed strike there, dude. So on your HUD, under your unarmed, just above your portrait, you should see it there.
In my HUD or the other part? Oh.
No, on the HUD.
Okay.
So if you, all the little pictures above your character sheet, about your character portrait.
Got it, brain dead.
Yep,
Got it now.
that's the one.
I'm gonna use my brain dead, which is a tombstone pile driver. I'm pretty sure it is.
It is indeed.
That's the one we did. Yep. You're gonna use that on the guy in front of me. Try to
Okay.
finish him up.
So with this, we got to do it a little differently. So you got to target the token still,
Yep, did that.
and then click on it. You should be able to roll it, and it will give us the information we need. Hopefully, here we go. So he's got to make a strength saving throw.
God damn it.
The damage is low, but he still has to make the throw anyway. Make the save.
Pretty sure
He
I got a
fails the
natural
save,
one.
so he takes the 4 damage, and he is slammed into the ground.
Let's pick him up, fucking drop him on his head.
I was going to give this a little bit of a read, because there's a little bit of information here which I don't think I've put on the actual description of the attack there. So
Can't read, it's too small.
yeah, I got it. So you watch as Youngblood reaches out and grabs this guy around the waist, picks him up, spins him around over onto his shoulder, and drops him down in front of him into an inverted position. So his head down him, almost in between his legs, and then just drops to his knees. You hear a sickening crack as the spine is concertinaed as his head hits the ground. On a failed save, he takes the bludgeoning damage, which he did. I don't know why I didn't add the strength to that. We might actually add a little bit more damage there, because it should give you...
I'm pretty sure I rolled
Should have given a
natural
+3. Yeah, no, I'll have to look at that. That's probably my fault. So there should be another 3 damage on that, which I'll add. He'll also be stunned from memory. He is also
I think
stunned.
you talked about that too.
Yep. So I'm just going to give him another 3 damage because he definitely took it. I'll have to fix that spell a little later, but he is now stunned. So with the stunned condition, the individual is incapacitated, cannot move, cannot speak. He automatically fails strength and dex saves, and attack rolls have advantage on this creature. Now, you guys do not need to roll that advantage. It should automatically do it when you target him for you because of the condition. So that is your turn, Youngblood, I believe.
Yep. I can only use 1 bonus action, so yeah.
Yeah. So that is you. That costs you your whole action, yeah. So you slam him down. You hear that sickening thud and crack as he hits the ground. Youngblood just then drops him, and he sort of slumps forward back onto his stomach, and is now prone and stunned. So that is your turn, Youngblood. Zankus, you're up. You are prone. You will spend half your movement to get back up, as usual.
Doing so. Hit that one, and no longer prone. No, yeah,
Yep,
done.
no, you're good.
Okay.
You're no longer prone.
Oh, go away. All right.
So what
now
you
that
see in front of
goes-
you is a dude lying down, not really moving.
Not really moving.
He's not really moving. So all you can do
Well,
is target him, and you'll get advantage on any melee attack.
Yeah, nah.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to move the rest of my movement
Which is 15 feet.
about there, I believe.
Yep, no drama. You do not get an attack of opportunity against you because he is stunned and cannot.
Oh well, that just sucks. He's just out of my range. Damn it. Oh man. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Hey, I wanted. Yeah, I can't do it. He's out of my range by 5 foot. So
Bugger.
yes. Yeah, I'll do that instead. No, hang on. It would help if I target.
6 seconds, Trash.
I'm getting there. That fire. Thank you. It's
That
rolled.
misses.
I don't know.
It did. It missed. You're obviously downloading because your camera is all over the place.
No, I've stopped it. I do have a bonus action now, don't I?
You do, yes.
Never mind. I can't do it anyway because it's 5 feet short.
No worries. Okay, so you're done.
Wow.
Not a problem. Next up is the Ruffian next to Sildar there. He's going to continue wailing on Sildar, as are his instructions. First attack hits. Parry with a 3. Still takes a little bit of damage. I don't think that parry is working. I'm going to turn that off for next game, so don't stress about the reaction thing. I don't like that. Next attack. My god. Also hits. And hits him with a 7. Sildar is not looking too good. In fact, he is unconscious. So Sildar drops before you, Arcos, as this final attack strikes through his armor. And that is that guy's turn. Who it is now? Your turn.
Right. Now I'm seeing this go down. That Sildar's gone down, and these guys are getting absolutely
You'd have a
wild
good
on
look
it,
around,
right?
yeah, definitely.
All right. So I'm going to target this guy and use Toll of the Dead.
Go for it.
And yell at him, leave my fucking mates alone.
No worries. Definitely, I believe he's got to make a save. We got some. If he has definitely taken damage, so if he fails, he'll take the full 12, which I believe he does. So he'll take the full 12 damage and is killed as the necrotic energy. The bell rings out in his head. You watch his Arcos. You see his eyes roll back in his head, and you just see black tar-like ichor start to pour from his eye sockets as his eyes just almost decay in his head, and he drops to the ground, no longer living. Anything else you would like to do? Who?
That's pretty much all I can do from there now.
No problem. Arcos, you're up. It seems that your quarry is making a run for it.
Yeah. So Arcos, seeing the site next to him, sort of looks over at Who and gives him a nod. You've given him the opportunity he wanted, and he's going to get to do it scot-free, and he's going to bolt after
No
drawing
worries.
a shape for some unknown reason. And I'm going to stab him.
Stab him. Stab him indeed.
So first one with my short sword.
That hits. 8 points. He's now looking bloody. You open up a large wound just below his buttocks on the right, just above the right thigh, as you slash with the short sword as you run towards him. At that point, he will turn and to face you. Your you will not get sneak attack on this, unfortunately, but you do get your offhand attack.
Yeah.
6 damage. He is not looking good at all. He sort of almost drops to one knee, and then as he sort of staggers forward, grips his dagger, one dagger in one hand and his dagger in the other, drops the left hand dagger, grabs an open wound in his stomach where you literally just planted the dagger to the hilt into the base of his stomach and withdrawn it slowly. He's not looking good. Is that your turn, Arcos?
Yeah, unfortunately that's all I can do.
This guy needs to make another save because he is stunned. So that will be a con save. Actually, no, it'll be a wisdom save. I lied. That will definitely be a fail. He's still stunned. Sildar will make his first death save. 1 second. That is done. That is his turn. back to the top with this individual here, left with really no choice, makes the attack back at you with his only has one dagger now, so he only gets the 2 main hand attacks, which second one misses. Heavy breathing sort of again thrusts back towards you and grazes the ribcage as he goes through, withdraws back slowly, sort of staggering to one side. Even if I fall this day, you won't make it. And that is his turn. Youngblood, it is now your turn. You got this dude lying stunned on the ground in front of you.
Yep.
You have advantage on whatever you choose to do. You can stomp on his head, you can do whatever you want.
That's what I was about to do.
Kind of figured.
He's gonna yell at, he made me bleed my own blood. He's gonna stomp his head in like.
Okay, so target him and just roll the unarmed attack. It should automatically roll the advantage. Natural 20 on the advantage. Dude. I'm gonna do something here because of the natural 20 and the fact that he's only on 1 hit point. That dude, as Youngblood, you lift your foot and slam it down heel first on the back of his head as he's lying face down. And Who and Zankus, from where you are as well, you hear the snapping of bone and then the squelching of flesh and blood as Youngblood, your foot crushes this man's skull and meets ground beneath it in a thud as it goes almost clear through. And you sort of lift your foot and there's blood and bone and brain matter just clinging to the bottom of your boot. And no, to the bottom of your thongs. I remember you're wearing thongs.
I am too.
So you got sticky goop on your feet, but he is dead. So that is, I think that might be you. Is that your turn? You want to do anything else? You can move if you wish. I would suggest if I mean this is only a new player thing. If you move to here, which you can do, you will give Arcos advantage on his next attack.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Because you're in a straight line that's 30 feet.
What? Can I use a bonus action as well? Or does that move?
You could use a bonus action if you wanted to.
I was going to use second wind to try to help heal myself up after that.
Yes,
stab.
you can do that. So target yourself and then click second wind and you should be good. Awesome. You get 3.
Better enough.
But it definitely helped you. So that is your turn. Zankus, it is now your turn. So I would say, actually, I'll leave it up to you, but you've noticed that Arcos has been chasing this guy, and this guy's been targeting Arcos specifically. So I'll leave it up to you on how you react to that.
Well, I'm going to move up about there and cast that on him.
Strength save, okie dokie.
And if it succeeds, I say, get over here.
It does not. Oh, it does succeed.
So
But he
you
also
pass,
takes. He also takes. No. It does pull him closer to you. But he also takes 4 points of damage and is killed in the process. As the lightning streaks out from your hands, wraps around his neck and pulls him forward. And in the process you watch his hair and his face just bubble with electric energy and his eyes pop with the electrical current running through his brain. And as the electrical charge is holding him there limp, you release it and he drops to the ground.
Cool.
And that is your turn, I believe.
Yeah.
Arcos, that would be your turn in the initiative order. It appears that all the combatants are now dead, which would have you out of initiative. How does Arcos react at what has just happened?
He'd look over to Xanxus and he'd give him that sort of death stare. He's like, I fucking had questions for him. And he sort of like staggers across and try and like search through the stuff, like search through the bodies. And he's fucking annoyed that you killed him, but he's not going to get answers unless he can find something on him or...
Remember, guys, Sildar is down too, just so you're aware.
Yeah. I had that in the back of my mind, but...
Which I have to quickly make a save for. We'll end this combat, though. We'll award some XP for everybody. We're not going to award Sildar, because he doesn't need it. So you guys should all remember to click on it to accept it once it comes up. And that will be the end of our combat. But I do need to make one more save for Sildar before anything happens. Okay, so we're now out of initiative, so I'll leave it up to you guys what you're going to do here. Don't worry about moving around on here. We'll go back into Theatre of the Mind.
Healing hands.
So you're going to healing hands on Sildar. Okay, so target him and...
already done.
Already done? What did he get out of it?
2.
Hey, it's better than dead. So he wakes, takes a deep breath. He's conscious and standing, still bloody. Oh, wow. Maybe I wasn't ready. But that was fun, wasn't it? Are they all dead? Oh.
Yep, want to look at my foot? I got one on there.
Great. Oh, that's gonna... only thing is... Oh, the rest of them are gonna come looking for you now. That was only a few of them. Ow.
Arcos, what was he to you?
Not paying attention to you.
So, Arcos, you were looking through his body?
At first he was trying to see if he was dead.
Oh, he's definitely dead. Like his eyeballs, you can see the smoke coming off his hair, and you can smell the burnt flesh. He's definitely dead.
He pissed me off.
He only had one hit point left. So
Yeah. So he sort of like shakes him around, like knowing that it's like he's way too far gone. He's like, I fucking had questions for you. And then he sort of like starts to search through his pockets, and he hears them in the background. And like there's a place in the back of his mind hoping they're helping Sildar, and he's like, yeah, surely they're helping Sildar, but he's like intent on finding whatever this guy had and why he had such a boner for him.
So, as you go through his pockets and through his armor, you find like a couple of mundane daggers, not much better than your own that you're carrying. The armor's pretty nice, but now full of holes and rather singed. So again, just it's all mundane stuff. The other guys, again, they have longbows and short swords and things. Nothing really of value. They do. This guy, for you, Arcos specifically, does have. Let me make a pubic roll. He does have, on a roll of a 1, has 13 gold, 4 silver in his coin pouch. As you sort of go through further, you know what you're looking for. You know how to shake down a body. You know that this individual had similar skills to you, it seems, plus a little bit of magic. You do find a amulet, or like some form of amulet around his neck. You can only assume maybe that's what he was using to cast his magic, possibly. Just a small medallion, nothing too expensive, maybe worth about 10 or so gold, maybe to the right person. In the middle of it has a small black stone, kind of shaped like a spider. Almost the stone could almost be used as a body. It's got some intricate work about it. It almost looks spider-like. But you go to the sleeve where you thought you saw the insignia that you saw earlier. You pull his sleeve up all the way, and it's definitely that same insignia that you've seen on the goblins and such. Nothing else really on him. You get the impression that he was smart enough to know that if he fell, not to have any information on him.
While he's doing
yanks the amulet off his neck.
while he's doing that, I'll walk up behind him and repeat my question a little bit more forcefully. Arcos, what was he to you?
So he grabs the amulet, and then as Xanxus asks that question, he pulls back the sleeve of the guy, and he just smashes the dagger into the mark on his arm, like quite firmly, more than you would have to do on a dead person.
Definitely. Sure. I mean, he's fresh dead, but yeah, you bury it to the hilt, I would say, easily. Slight, like just missing bone, and it would go through the armor out the other side, kind of thing. And Xanxus, you would see that quite clearly, and you could see that he's not happy.
He's still not answering me?
Nope.
No. Then I force the dagger out, and I sort of spin round you and the others.
So he ignores
he doesn't even look you in the eye. He doesn't look at you at all.
As he does that, I grab him. So grapple, I guess.
So we will be if you're trying to grab him, and he will definitely try to resist. I would imagine we're going to do a contested roll here. For Arcos, it will be actually for Xanxus it'll be athletics, and for Arcos it'll be nope, other way around. Nope, I was right. Acrobatics for you, Arcos. Athletics for Xanxus. Strength versus dexterity.
Well, that sucks.
I'm gonna do mine at disadvantage because I am fucking hurt.
Okay. Yeah, you're pretty low, so that makes sense.
It's still not gonna matter.
You still beat him. Even
Yeah.
as hurt as you are and as angry as you are, you manage to, as he reaches out to grab your shoulder, you just twist your way out of it and keep walking.
Touch me again and I'll fucking stab you.
Okay, so with that, I want to use a feature that I have.
He really wants to touch me.
He really wants to touch you, yeah.
No.
What are you gonna do? What are we trying to do? We'll switch back to the Phandalin map here while we're doing this.
I'd like to throw up necrotic shroud.
So you're gonna throw up necrotic shroud. Let's see. Explain to us what necrotic shroud does for those that don't know what it is.
Okay, starting at 3rd level, you can use an action to unleash a divine energy within yourself, causing your eyes to turn into pools of darkness, into skeletal, ghostly, flightless. Two skeletal, ghostly, flightless wings to sprout from your back. The instant you transform, other creatures within 10 foot of you that can see you must succeed a charisma saving throw.
So we're looking for a save here. So is that everybody or just Arcos? I think everybody.
Everybody within a 10-foot area.
We're gonna have to go back. God damn it.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Does it give you a template if you cast it?
No.
Does it say looking at you?
Yeah, unfortunately, you're just turned away.
Yes, he has. So if they can, is it see you or looking just within range? I'm pretty sure that they have to see you.
Hang on.
Necrotic shroud. Here we go. I'll bring it up.
Okay. Other creatures within 10 foot of you that can see you.
Yeah,
must
so
succeed.
he's got his back to you, so he can't see you.
Well, Well, that sucks.
So, Silda, like everyone else, would have to make that save if you. I mean, I would say that you would know this. So, if you were targeting specifically him, I would say you would know that he can't see you at this point. So you would know whether it would work or not. So, I mean, if you still want to use it, you can use it, and the others will have to make a save. Otherwise, we'll say that you chose not to use it.
It's a 10-feet radius, so they wouldn't have to.
Okay, so yeah, you use it and nothing happens.
Yeah. Nah, won't bother using it then.
Okay, you'd know that it wouldn't work, so I'll allow you not to use it.
It's a shame because I'm good at charisma saves.
So with that, then, what is everyone doing right this minute now? As you turn, where are you headed, Arcos? You've turned and walked away from Xankus. You're just heading back to the others?
I'm gonna head back and check the other bodies. I'm assuming I'm not gonna find anything, but I'm like, I don't want to talk to anyone, so I'm gonna do like meaningless busy work. So he starts checking.
So you start checking the bodies again. Like I said, real mundane armor, mundane weapons, longbows, daggers, swords.
He's not even really paying attention. He's just, like I said, busy work, so that maybe someone will...
you will find another 22 gold between the 4 bodies.
And I take it that was meant to be a DM roll?
No. I just had you targeted. But
okay.
That's fine. You rolled it, it's good.
Wow.
Sildar sort of gets up and you see him chug a health potion. He is not very happy. So I need to roll 2d4 plus 2. So Sildar gets another 5 hit points back and sort of says, "Oh, man, we're going to need another rest after that. I'm in no condition to go to Cragmore now, and as I said before, Redbrand's going to be gunning for you guys now. You're going to need to deal with that before we head out." And he was sort of addressing whoever was closest. So Youngblood, who you would probably definitely hear that.
Looks like we're going back for a rest then, are we?
Head back to the tavern.
I'll talk to. Oh my god.
Or maybe there's somewhere we can go that's a bit more hidden in case Redbrand tries to come after us.
Yeah, I got somewhere we can stay. It's not much, but it'll be comfortable and be safe for at least another evening.
No, that's it. You don't need the tavern getting raided.
It's about that. It's about this time. You see, you really guys looking around. You guys are from Neverwinter. If this sort of shit breaks out in Neverwinter, the City Watch are normally there pretty quick to help either deal with situations like this or stop a situation like this from occurring, and obviously take statements and do what the City Watch does. But as you sort of look around, you realize there's no City Watch at all. Like, there's no one. I mean, a few people have sort of scattered as soon as the fray started. No one seems overly concerned. At one point, you sort of turn and you'll see the proprietor of the Lion Shield Costa standing on the front veranda of the building, just looking down at you guys. She actually gives you a nod of almost approval before going in, and you can audibly hear that door lock behind her. She knows shit's gone down. She knows shit's going to happen. You do have an individual walking in your direction, and he is he's not happy. Let's say he's walking rather briskly. He's a rather short individual. He's wearing monocles, like he's got a little monocle in one eye. He's got short red hair, little stout beard, little round pudgy face. You'd almost mistake him for a halfling until he gets closer and you realize he's just a short, fat human. What is the meaning of this? Who are you? Why are you here? What have you done? God damn it! They shit! And you see he's really, like, he's red in the face. He's I'll show you guys who he is. He's not happy. What have you done? Why?
Yo, calm down, little man. You're gonna hurt yourself.
You shut up.
We gotta
you don't know what's going on here. You've just ruined. My God, they're gonna kill everybody. What? Why would you attack them? What? Why? Why?
I walk up to him, grab him from the scruff of the neck, intimidating him.
Hey, look. Let me go.
Saying, go home.
Roll intimidation for me.
Certainly. When I find it. Tribute. Ah, there we go. I found it. There it goes. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
His eyes definitely widen, and you sort of pick him. He's sort of going, calm down. But you might want to look behind you, and at that point you get a tap on your shoulder. And standing behind you is a individual, stands about 6'5", rather broad through the shoulders, soft brown, well, not really soft, kind of rugged brown grey fur, big ring in his nose, horns coming out from the side that come down and point downwards, almost demonic like. He snorts. I suggest you put him down.
Then he should have more manners, and I just drop him.
And you see, you would have seen this race, probably not. You probably would have seen some of them in Neverwinter, but he's definitely a minotaur, a rather large minotaur. He's got a great axe strapped across his back. And he's wearing like regular kind of leather style pants with leather lace up type boots with fur around the top, leather braces on one on each arm. You can see several scars across his chest and across his face. Now he's definitely seen battle, but he's huge compared to you. Like his hands, like you'd imagine, like looking at his hands, if he held his hand up in front of you, he'd be able to palm your head and probably pick you up. Is how big this guy is. He's massive. And he sort of shifts around in front of you and pushes this little guy to one side, but almost behind him. And sort of says, well, he says, he gets excitable, but he's right. You lot are going to bring the Redbrands down on the whole town. I hope you got a plan for it. I can't take him on my own, otherwise I would have already. And what you've done, especially killing that one, they're going to be coming for you.
I think
we didn't mean to start trouble.
How about we just offer up the thief? You seem to have known them.
Calm down, don't need to offer up anybody. We're just trying to defend ourselves. It got out of hand. We'll try to fix this problem.
Now, you obviously need to deal with it, right?
We'll deal with it. We'll deal with it.
They hang out at a place called the Sleeping Giant up the road there. There's also another place, Tressender Manor. You might go looking for him there. But I suggest you do it quick, because you don't want them coming after you. If they come after you in the street and someone gets hurt, I'll come looking for you. And he steps right up to you, Zankus, and like I said, he towers over you. and like he sort of snorts again, heavy hot breath down atop your sort of face. It's not nice breath either, but you get the impression he could probably break you in half quite easily. He's not happy.
I don't stand down. I just take it.
And you hear from behind him, "That's right. You deal with it. All right. Do it quickly."
And I tilt to the side.
And he sort of he hops back behind the legs, not wanting to be seen.
Keep your dog on a leash.
Who are you calling a dog, little man?
I'm talking.
Blue man,
about
shut up. You're gonna get us at even more shit. Just hold your damn tongue.
I'm not calling you a dog. I'm calling him a dog.
Roll a strength save for me.
Strength save.
Strength check, sorry, not a save.
Check.
As this individual's had quite about enough of your lip, and he palms your face. Like literally, hand on face, and shoves you backwards. Yeah, he rolled a 25, so like his strength is massive. He literally palms your face and just shoves you backwards, sending you arse over kite, barrel rolling twice backwards, and then grabs his axe and holds it down at his side, and just looks at you, looks at the other, looks at you others, looks at you who Youngblood. Seeing that Youngblood's had something to say and seems to be a little bit more receptive. Pick him up. Go where you're going. Before I fucking kill him.
Look, we're sorry for our friend. He's not really even a friend, he's just a dickhead that's with us. He's got a fucking mouth. We can't fucking fix it. We keep telling him to shut the fuck up, he never listens. We got paid to be a team, and we're kind of stuck with the dickhead.
Arcos will stand up and he'll grasp with both hands onto the arrow in his abdomen, yank it out. He's like, I hate to agree with the blue piece of shit, but you two, fucking cowards. And he throws the arrow. No wonder this town's turned to shit. And he just turns away, doesn't even look at him anymore.
No worries. Does who say or do anything at this point?
Yeah, and I say loud enough for the big fella to hear. Sounds like the little red-headed fella's got you tied up by that ring in your fucking nose, mate.
He shoots you a pretty scathing look. He doesn't seem overly worried by what you've said, but you get the impression that maybe, I mean, you guys are not sure who this little individual is. You've never met him before. He obviously hasn't introduced himself, so you got no idea. But you get the impression that maybe might be somewhat of an important town, you're not sure. But either way, the Minotaur turns to the little dude and bends down and says something to him and sort of gives him a push in a direction, and they eventually start to walk away back towards the eastern side of town, leaving you where you currently are.
See that, guys? He's going home to get tied up to the fence post, just like I said.
He does not react. And I think before we do anything else, we'll take a short break, because I know Nutty wants to make coffee. Because he whinged about it about half an hour ago, even though we'd only been going for just over an hour.
Make noise.
So we'll be back in a few minutes, guys. We make a coffee, go to the toilet, do what you need to do, and we'll come back and carry on right here from this moment. BRB. And we're back. We have coffee. We have urinated. I'm assuming. Released the flotation devices and such. So, welcome in everybody. We're back. Hopefully you guys are doing all okay this evening. Trying to figure out what was causing a little issue there, but sorry it took a little bit longer to come back. But we are now back. So we are still in the middle of the street. You've kind of walked away from this area where you are. Sildar has said that he has somewhere you guys can hold up for the night. Bear in mind, this is still morning time. You guys have taken a fair amount of damage and have utilized probably almost everything you have in this battle. So you're pretty well hurt. We can expedite any kind of travel and skip right through to the evening, if you wish, unless there's something specific you wish to do in this moment before we move forward. Nope, nobody.
No, I'm still hurting, and I'm still
everybody's hurt.
Yeah, pretty much right to go.
And I still want answers from our thief.
So what I am going to do is actually scroll this map out so you guys in the chat can actually see. I created this map because I didn't have it last week, so I created this for this fight, and I made it to scale, and the guys used the bottom right hand corner of it, so you couldn't actually see the whole map. But it does have other buildings on there. So if we scroll it right out, we can show you. So this building down the bottom here is the Lion Shield Costa. We've got the shrine up here in the top. This building here is the Stonehill Inn, and these are just other outlying buildings. So this is the inn here where you came from, and you went to here, down here to the Lion Shield Costa. So with that being said, Sildar leads you back initially to the Stonehill Inn, and he speaks to the inn owner, sort of warning of potential trouble with the Redbrands. And he had to bang on the door for a minute or two before they actually opened it. It seems that a lot of the townsfolk had gone indoors when the fight started and locked up their doors. They didn't want a bar of it. Now that it's kind of settled down, the bodies are still lying in the street. No one seems to be moving to remove them at this point. You see a few people sort of milling around. You get some people which are you get that they don't come up to you directly, but you get a look from them as if to say thank you, like thank you for standing up to these thugs. And then you get other looks of concern, like what have you done? You're foolish. You've made it worse, kind of thing. And you would know. I'd say especially Arcos, you've probably seen communities like this before under the thumb of a tyrant or a group of individuals. They're scared. Some of them, as cowardly as it might be, they know that to stand up to these guys is just foolhardy. They've obviously got a pretty good foothold in this town. I would say Youngblood would probably have a little bit of an understanding of that as well. Zankus probably doesn't give a shit, I would imagine. And this is probably the first time you're seeing something like this on this level. You're all smart enough to understand the kind of the logistics of this kind of situation, but it's different seeing it firsthand. So eventually Sildar leads you, and we'll go back to our actual Phandalin map now. He leads you past the inn. Then you duck into a sort of a side street and end up over here. And eventually you end up sort of down this area of Phandalin. And you end up in this small house here. And he says to you, to the north, he sort of looks points through the trees, and you can see an old building through the trees up to the north. And he says, that's the sleeping giant. That's where the Redbrands hang out normally. It's like a tap house. Like, you know, not like the Sleeping Hill, not like Stonehill. It's kind of just like it's just a rundown alehouse. But that's where the bulk of them hang out. But they also, as the big fella said, Tressender Manor. That's where the bulk of them are.
Do they rest in both these places?
Well, they generally hang out at the Sleeping Giant, but they rest at Tressender. Excuse me.
Because I was thinking maybe we all hurt, maybe sleep the morning, afternoon away, maybe try to do a sneak attack at night time on. We're all up for that. Try to get the first attack on them.
Yeah, it might be handy before we leave this town to clean something up so that these
how about we
people
ask our resident rogue, see what he thinks.
Whatever. I don't care.
So what, we tie you up and just hand you to them? I think that's a good idea.
Try it, fuckface.
Sildar sort of backs away slowly from this conversation. He doesn't want a bar of it. He sort of says, make yourselves comfortable. So there's not a huge amount of space here, but it'll serve for the evening. And he sort of moves himself to the far, like it's a single room, like it's a little cottage. You got a sort of kitchen area at one end, and it's just a single room. Not much bedding to speak of, but he sort of moves himself to a far end and sort of pulls his cloak up around him and sort of sits against the wall, and he starts tending to his wounds himself. He's pretty battered as well.
Is there a bathroom around here? I need to clean this goop off my foot.
I'd say the walk here would have removed most of it, but there's not really a bathroom. Like there's a small well out the back of the house which you're able to draw water from, and you'll be able to clean yourself
I'll
up.
go out there, clean myself up anyway, because I might have got some dirt in it and all sticky and crap.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Stuff in the walk. So I'll go clean this foot up in the well.
It's definitely pretty grotty. So
I'm gonna find a corner and leave Blue Boy and Arcos to
okay,
deal with whatever
you
they're
back
dealing
off
with.
as well and just observe.
Yeah.
So this kind of leaves Arcos and Zankus alone for a little bit. Not so much alone, but in an area sort of close enough. I mean, like I say, the place isn't big, so you could hear each other speak to each other from across the room. It's not massive at all. The afternoon draws in. You sort of stretch yourselves out. You attend to your wounds as best you can, getting ready for the night's rest. Any conversations to be had over those few hours before the sun starts to set? Muted.
I just keep looking at Blue Boy. Just kind of sort of that dismay away keeps poking the hornet's nest, sort of shaking my head.
Roll an insight check for me, Era. So it should be on your sheet there somewhere in the alphabetical order under your skills. I could probably get you one.
So
Yeah. That's pretty good. So your keen eye, as you got big ones, your eyes are massive, so you see a lot of things, and you definitely get the impression that Zankus, I mean, it's obvious he's not a people person, and that much is very, very clear. But you're not entirely sure why he keeps going at Arcos. Whether it's a personal thing or whether it's just maybe you get the impression maybe he's been either mistreated or betrayed by someone perhaps, which is causing him to see this as an act of betrayal almost. Like Arcos must know. Zankus knows something. He thinks Arcos might know something about what's happened, which is why he keeps pressing the issue. And it's been quite clear that he's been trying to figure out what connection Arcos has with this dark armored individual, and he keeps pushing and keeps asking. But that's pretty much what you see. And watching them both, because I'm assuming you're sitting back watching them both, Arcos doesn't seem too phased by the poking and prodding. He snaps back occasionally, but doesn't seem like he's not in control either. On occasion you get that real glimmer of, you think, shit, is he gonna freaking fly off the handle and stab this guy? It's sort of, you get that glare, but then he composes himself. With a 22 insight, you definitely get the impression that Arcos is hiding something, whether it's something personal or something else, you're not sure, but he's definitely not. He knows something and he's not saying.
Is there a window or anything that sort of faces towards the sleeping giant?
There would be a small window in the north of the cottage, yeah.
Yeah, so Arcos will sort of like tend to his wounds, and then he'll sort of pace along the window, sort of looking out, and then sort of moving
the window's pretty dirty, and again, it's that mottled glass. So it's like you're not going to get a clear view of anything, and you'd know that, but you'd be able to notice any shadows walking past the cottage, probably through the trees if there was enough backlighting. It is going to get dark soon, but easy enough done. You might have to give the window a bit of a wipe to be able to see through it. Yeah. It is pretty dirty.
Yeah, you probably give it a bit of a wipe, and also inspect how it opens and check all the other ways of getting into this place.
Okay, roll a perception check for me. We'll get to you in a minute, Zankus. Just give me a second.
Perception.
It's not bad. You got time, so you wander back and forwards. You check the window. The window's basic. Got a single latch with a single hinge. Not very big. I mean, you'd probably be able to fit through it. I don't think anyone else would. The main door is... The whole place is pretty rickety. Like, this looks like it's probably been abandoned for quite some time. So the front door has just a basic bar kind of locking system. So it's just a bar across the frame to stop the door from being opened inwards. There is another small window by the front door. Again, very dirty. Similar sort of latching system to the one to the north. And the window to the south has been broken and boarded up and is not usable. That's about it. There's a few loose floorboards. If push come to shove, with your skills, you'd know, yeah, we could pry these up and probably get out under the house if anything really shitty happened. Zankus, what are you doing through this?
Seeing how I'm not getting any answers I've had enough of this, and I'll go find a corner or a spot to lie down.
Again, like I said, not large. You can't really get away from anybody, but you definitely find a place on your own and situate yourself ready for the evening. Is there going to be any kind of watch formed for the evening, or are you confident that you are secure enough you don't need a watch?
If there's going to be a watch, I want to be the watch before Arcos.
You'll have to sort that out amongst yourselves. So this is something we can do in RP. So you guys decide whether you're going to have a watch or not. Do it in RP.
That's what I'm saying. I want. Yeah, the watch before
Arcos would definitely watch.
Yeah, Sildar would probably speak up and suggest. I believe this place is fairly safe, but pay to have a watch cycle just in case. Yeah.
After that running down further in town, I think so.
I turn back around. I'll take last.
Youngblood never came back in. He's
still outside
at the well. He's just not coming back in. He's kind of pissed that he's seeing everything break apart and he doesn't know how to fix it. So he's just stayed outside. He's made himself nice and neat near the well, just laying down.
Okay. I would say after about an hour or so of Youngblood not returning, do any of you express any kind of concern or go looking for him?
Yeah, I'll go
Okay.
looking for him. I'd go looking for him.
I know Zankus wouldn't.
Yeah, I'd go looking for him.
Arcos had noticed, and then seeing that who was gonna go look for him, he'd leave it at that.
So does who do you tell someone? Do you tell them you're gonna go look for?
Yeah, I'd
Youngblood?
just say I'm gonna pop out and see what's going on with Youngblood, see where he is.
So we'll go back to that. This goes back a little bit in time, so we'll go back to that. So you head out that door and head round to where the well was indicated to be earlier by Sildar, and you find Youngblood he's got himself parked up next to the well. He's probably a little quiet. And Youngblood, you'd see who approach as well.
What's up, man? What's going on? You can't sleep out here in the open. You know, like back inside, we'll set up some watches and keep an eye on each other.
I'm just sick of them two fighting, man. They're gonna get us killed.
Well, they might just get each other killed.
Yeah, but we're meant to be a team. If we go in to try to stop this Redbrand, they fight, and while we're trying to battle, they could compromise us as well.
Yeah, we did pretty good at that. Yeah, we did pretty good, but down the bottom there, like, we did work together. It was only afterwards that little asshole in town with the red hair.
Yeah, I know.
That big buffy cow he had with him, man. I still reckon he ties him up at the fucking fence post back at the house.
You're not wrong. You're probably right. I just needed a break from him.
You think that big fella there could take on the Redbrand on his own? Look at the size of him. You know, like he's got to be held back in check by somebody.
Yeah, that didn't really bother me. Just didn't want fucking Blue Boy getting himself killed by him instead. That's what I told him to shut up for. You got shoved. What else could have happened?
Man, it was a nice little backflip he got rolling down there on the street, wasn't it?
Yeah, he went flying. It was kind of funny. I'll come back in.
Come inside, man. It's a bit more comfortable.
And I'll walk back in too.
So you make your way back in, and again, other conversations are had. Arcos does his scouting of the cottage, and eventually Sildar suggests the watch should be taken. Zankus pipes up and says that he'll take last watch. Sildar says, I'll take first. I mean, I'm pretty beat up, but I'm still good.
I jump in pretty quick and say I'm taking second to get him before Arcos if he's going to take a place in the roll of things.
So that gives us 3 watches. We need at least 1 more.
I'll take a last one. Bugs needs a break. He took most damage.
Zankus is taking last watch, so you'll be 3rd, Youngblood.
That's fine. I just said I'll take it.
Yeah.
The last part. You go rest up, Bugs.
And Arcos will, like, because he's wrapped himself up because he hasn't taken his potions or nothing.
Yep.
And he takes off one of the dressings and he sort of looks at it. This is caked in blood, and he sort of rubs it on the ground and then rubs it back on the window to sort of cloud the window up again, so that nobody's looking in.
Yep.
And then he's sort of gonna start, like, realizing that they've given him, opportunity to rest. He's gonna, like, lay some bell bearings under the window and just set some by the front door.
Okay.
Once everyone's sort of inside for the night, and he's going to make sure everyone knows that he's done that, whether they remember or not, in the middle of the night.
It's not. I mean, it'd be pretty obvious that what he's doing. But yeah, Arcos definitely lets you guys know that he's putting some ball bearings down in certain areas in case of unwanted visitors. So just watch your step. which everyone takes note of. Sildar says, unfortunately, if we're not to draw attention, we cannot light a fire, so it's going to get a little chilly, so I'd suggest you rug up. I mean, it's not cold, but cold enough. As he pulls his cloak in tighter as the sun starts to set, and you do notice that the temperature does drop a little bit. Not enough to be super uncomfortable or cold, but enough to be noticed. And you all drift off to sleep, leaving Sildar on his watch, through which nothing untoward happens during his watch. And he eventually wakes Who, gives you a little bit of a shake with his foot. Who? Your watch, but...
Fluff my feathers and...
It's all clear.
Sort of blinky-eyed, one at a time, like owls do, that...
Blinky owl.
Blinky owl. And, yep. Okay, DM. While I'm
Yes.
here, if I wake somebody and speak in a whisper,
Yes.
would it be audible to people in the room, being like the size you explained it?
That would depend on their passives as a general rule, but generally no. If you were to speak in hushed tones, then generally not.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
If that's your intention, yeah, I would say probably not.
Okay.
But Sildar sort of nods and moves over to an area, gets himself wrapped up again in his cloak, and puts his head down into his arms, and starts to take some rest himself and drifts off.
Check the windows and the doors. Notice that there's one there that's got extra scrubbing on it over near Arcos. It's a little bit more scrubbed in, and the other one's like blocking the light out and stuff. But
the others are still pretty. The others are fairly dirty. He re-dirtied it up after cleaning it earlier.
Yeah, re-dirtied it up. And I look around and make sure, like, from what I can see, that everyone's asleep, and I wake Arcos up. I just gently shake him to wake him up.
How does Arcos react to being woken, and especially in this current, not mood, but this current sort of mindset he's in?
So he's sort of like
woken?
He's sort of like curled up because it's cold, and he's sort of irritable, like, if that's you, blue boy, you can go gargle fuzzy minotaur balls.
No, it's not blue boy, mate. It's not blue boy.
What do you want, Feathers?
I have a question, mate, about that fella down there that we just fought against, that you chased after. What's going on, man, with stabbing of the wrists and stuff? You were pretty pissed off when Blue Boy cracked him, mate.
I need to find them all. Talk later.
Yeah, but can we help before you fall asleep again? Can we help with that?
I mean, that shit you were doing where people were like just falling to the ground, keep doing that. That'll help.
All right. Okay, mate.
Right.
Thanks for the info. You go back to sleep. Just kind of fluff off and just keep an eye on things.
Yeah, no worries.
Keep warm. Fluff the feathers up because it's getting a bit chilly.
No problem. And again, no, we're not going to worry about perception rolls for this watch. Sildar's pretty much on the money. You're relatively safe here, but always pays to keep a watch in the situation. You don't know if you're being followed at all. At one point, you do hear muffled voices kind of walking past. Sounds like a couple of drunks, maybe coming from. They might be Redbrand, you're not sure, but they're not interested in what's either. Sort of one sort of stops, and you can hear them pissing against the house. Like they'll stop to have a leak, and you can hear that that water against the boarding on the side of the house, and then they sort of giggle and carry on their way. Youngblood was next in the watch line. So if you wish to wake up Youngblood, you can.
Yeah, give him a gentle kick with my claws, my talons. Hey, big fella, it's your time, mate.
That felt good.
Hey, don't expect any more of that.
Ah, damn. You wake up.
It's just a wake-up call, that's all it is.
So with that, Youngblood, you wake.
Wake up. I'll just walk around, dodging the barbarians.
Yep. Minding the barbarians. Is there anything specific that you want to do while on the watch, or you're just gonna keep an eye on everything?
Please keep watching everything, yeah.
Okay. So again, at one point, actually roll a d6 for me. So go into the chat on Foundry, and down the bottom you've got the custom dice. Click on the d6 and roll that for me, please. So at one point during your watch, you stroll over to towards the front door, minding the ball bearings. You hear voices, whispered voices. Seems like two people backwards and forwards, and then you hear footsteps move away. And as you sort of peer through the darkened window, the moon's not full, but it's out and it's quite bright, and I think you see a shadow out there. So you give the window a little bit of a wipe to have a look through, and just in the trees, or not so much in the trees, out the front here, there's a few small shrubs and stuff out the front of the shack, and you can see a figure sort of hunkered down, almost like they're watching the front of this building. You see them eventually, as you keep watching, you see them stand and make a step towards the place. Looks like they have something in their hand, and you see sparks. You see a torch flare up, and it lights up their face. You don't know the person. They're wearing similar garb to the guys you fought in the street. Just as you go to say something, you go to turn and warn your friends that something's about to happen, you see a large, like a hulking figure come from sort of the direction behind another building just over here and stalk up behind this thing. Then you see what only can be described as a large axe swing downwards, and to your surprise, with the light of the torch, you see this person holding this torch is almost split in two. Like it's horrific. Like not completely, but almost like from shoulder to waistline. The body sort of lolls to one side, the torch drops to the ground, and the body slumps into the dirt. The bigger figure then picks the torch up, looks up with torch in one hand, axe in the other, and from the torchlight you see the face of the Minotaur that was in the street earlier, and he looks directly at you, now seeing your face in the window, and gives you a nod and snuffs out the torch, grabs this person by the ankle and drags the body away into the shadows. You stand there and watch for maybe another 15 or 20 minutes just in case anything else happens, but everything else remains quiet until it's time for you to wake Xankus for his watch, the final watch of the evening. You muted, dude.
Kids. So I go over, give him a nudge. Your watch.
You tell him of the events that you witnessed.
Yeah. We had a watcher here. Looked like one of the people, but that scimitar came back and sliced him in half. gave me a nod and walked off with him. So I haven't heard anything else since. So just keep an eye out in case there's more watchers around. Other than that, we're good.
I nod.
Yeah, well, I'll just look up and fuck with it and walk off.
Hey, it's better than saying nothing like I usually do.
This is true. This is true. So with that,
Oh.
Zankus, Youngblood moves over to where he was before, curls up again, and attempts to go back to sleep, leaving you on watch. Is there anything specific you want to try and do?
No, just do what everyone else has done. Just keep an eye out, listen.
You do so, you watch the window, you go, I'd say you probably move over to the window where Youngblood suggested that he'd seen this incident take place, and you watch for a while and you don't see any movement at all. By now it's like early hours of the morning, you're on that final watch before sunrise. So there's generally no one around. You don't hear anything. You hear the distant howlings of wolves and the occasional rooster as the sun starts to rise. The sun starts to fill the room as the sun rises above the hills and starts to fill the room with that sort of orangey, yellowy orange glow of the early morning. And you all start to awaken as you rise for a new day and can all take a long rest. So on your character sheets, I believe under your character portrait, you'll see the little bed. Click on the long rest one and confirm it, and you'll all get your spell slots back, your hit points, all your bits and pieces and doofers. Let me know if you can't find it, and I will sort it out for you. Looks like we're all good.
As Arcos wakes, I keep a close eye on him.
So, how do you mean keeping an eye? You're just watching him directly? You're standing over him? Give us a description of how you're watching him closely.
Just watching him directly from my vantage point.
Okay, so you're standing there just sort of watching, and everyone starts to wake. Silda gets up, stretches, and you hear the old bones crack. Puts his armor back on. Puts his sword back in, says, definitely needed that. So, what are we doing? Are we Tressendor or Sleeping Giant? I wouldn't assume to be anyone at Sleeping Giant this hour, but Tressendar's where they hang out. That's where they sleep. They're all, the bulk of them are there. If there's a leader there, that's where it'll be.
Well, I think we go straight for him and try to strike first.
Yeah,
maybe they're still sleeping and it's early in the morning.
Head up there
first.
and cut its head off at
Exactly.
the main spot, I think.
If we strike first, maybe we can help the village stay out of it.
No trouble in the night then.
We had a little bit of trouble, but that scimitar helped us and sliced the motherfucker in half.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, we had
So-
someone watching us from a bush trying to come into the door.
I mean, Grendel doesn't have any love for the Redbrand, and forgive me. The little man you met yesterday, Harbin Wester. He former mayor of Phandalin. He still thinks he's in charge, but he's not really. I mean, the Redbrands are kind of in charge. Oh yes, quite so. But Grendel is a paid bodyguard, if you will. But he has no love for the Redbrands, no real love for Harbin, apart from the fact he pays him really well.
Well, it's good to see he doesn't chain him up against the fence posts at night, like I thought.
Not wise to piss him off, really. He's quite capable.
Yeah, well, I don't think I pissed him off. He gave me a respectful nod after doing it, so...
Or even, honestly, even if you have pissed him off, as I say, Redbrand's, they've been in Phandalin for some time and kind of have the town hostage, if you will. I mean, this was a stop-off point for Gundren and myself. We were never meant to spend much time here before moving on. I personally didn't want to get involved. Again, one person can't take on a group like the Redbands, and most of the people here are farmers, miners, merchants. They're not soldiers, fighters. But now we're kind of in it. I must say though, I don't mean to pry, Arcos, but the one in the dark armor seemed to know you somewhat. And I mean, you didn't seem to like know him, but you knew him, if you get my drift. Seemed quite intent on taking me and you down. I mean, I've not seen him around, but I've heard stories of this dark armored individual working for the Redbrands, and obviously the stories are true. I wonder if have any of you heard of an individual goes by the name of the Black Spider by chance?
And Arcos gets up and he starts gathering up his ball bearings, and he sort of like looks over at Xanxus and then sort of puts them all in the bag. He's like, yeah, might have heard of those fuckers before.
I'd like to do a history check, see if I've heard of them.
All of you can do a history check except for Arcos, who doesn't really need to, but if you want to determine whether you may or may not know who this group calling, or this person calling himself the Black Spider is, you can make a history roll.
Got a 16.
16. Ooh, it's a low roll and quite hot. So 16 and 17. I would say, unfortunately, the DC was very high because of the group involved. They're not really a public. The name's not a public knowledge thing. I would say, Xanxus, in your circles, you've probably heard the name. You have no idea of who it is or what they are or who they are. You've heard them. You've heard the name, and you know that they are definitely in the less than lawful circles of the realm. Youngblood, you've probably heard the name mentioned in Neverwinter, again in the circles that you run in as well. Again, nothing substantial, nothing specific, but you've just heard the name in passing. Definitely someone within the sort of, not so much criminal, but the darker realms of way people live. But not too much information I can give you guys, unfortunately, on that. And who, you've never heard of them.
Oblivious.
But Sildar sort of just says, if I think from what I've been able to determine, I think that this Black Spider may be responsible for Gundren going missing. Gundren, I really should. He's gonna punish me for telling you this, but if we're gonna get him back, I think you need this information. Gundren's a miner. His brothers are miners, and Gundren thinks he stumbled across an old mine, a very old mine that is rich with gems and gold and resources. Thought lost many years ago. He has a map, or had a map. I think he has a map. About it's one of those things. This black spider individual obviously wants this for himself, as wealth is power, as we all know in these lands. And these types of individuals will do nothing, will stop at nothing to get their hands on such information. And I think the dark armored individual may have been working for the black spider, and they may have recruited the Redbrands to stop me from finding Gundren, and seemingly they know you, Arcos, who were trying to stop you from going any further, for whatever reason that may be. But either way, Redbrands, dickheads, clearly, and need to be dealt with now, specifically because they're going to be coming for us either way.
That's the question. Do they know we're in here?
Well, not here
I assume they
specifically.
do.
Well, if what Youngblood says, then
We've seen
they
one of
probably
them. Seen.
do.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't
We've
know.
seen one of them.
Yeah. And it's well known the machinations and greed of dwarfs have got many people killed. Fucking. Always so hungry for gold.
It's in their blood, really. I mean, he does pay well, and he's a good friend too. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not just about the money. He has saved my life on many occasions, as I have his. He's a good friend, and I do wish to find him well, if I can.
So shall we go kill these lot now? I'm getting bored.
I must say, Zankus, you're rather an ornery fellow. I can't say I like you very much. You have skills in some areas, but your interpersonal skills are fucking bollocks. You really need to work on that. Because I will tell you this for free, my friend. People that do not play well with others normally do not last long, especially around here. And if you wish to survive this, you're going to need these people, when he sort of motions to the rest of the group, to keep you alive. And if I'm not mistaken, this one, in fact, kept you alive yesterday. So some gratitude would be at least wise on your part. Because I was not the only one to fall in battle. And I'm, for one, extremely grateful for your assistance, indeed.
That's why I haven't bitten his head off yet.
And he looks at you and sort of rolls his eyes and just turns away from you and turns to you, Arcos, and says, "Well, sir, regardless of the reason why, I shall stand at your side and aid you in whatever way I can."
And I agree. He is rather ornery, and I understand. But even I know it was him that helped you, and not who. And it was. Xanxus healed.
Oh, yes, it was too. Well, he didn't know that.
Yeah,
He was just.
it made a good story moment.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
assuming it was who. But it was who that helped Xanxus. So, I believe.
Sure was.
Yes.
That's what that
Not
was
that
the point he was trying to make.
Yeah. Not that I'd thank him for it.
Well, I'm a bigger man than that, and if I've made a mistake, then Xanxus, I thank you for your aid in battle. But my statement still stands.
Now.
I really don't like you. And turns and
he's trying
walks,
to make-
unbars the door and walks outside.
Yeah, I'm
What
right
he's trying
behind
to
you.
make here is we need to work as a team, and you're not really a team player. If we're going into this big battle, you need to calm down a bit and just try to trust us so we can trust you.
I'll walk outside.
So, I would assume we're not going to obviously RP the breakfast scene. You eat, you drink, you don your armor if you have any. You prepare yourselves for what's about to come. Sildar does suggest going directly to Tressendar, as the sleeping giant will probably be vacated at this time of the morning. They generally don't sort of hit there until sort of mid-afternoon, early afternoon. But when you do get outside, guys, one thing you guys do notice is you do notice a rather large patch of grass that is stained with blood. No entrails or anything remain, but it's definitely, and you can see drag marks through the grass and leading off into the shadows, and then that sort of disappears. But the young blood was obviously right that something pretty nasty happened here during the evening. Sildar draws his sword, checks it, and makes sure that it's not too badly damaged from the battle before, resheathes it, and says, well, I suggest Tressendar would be our best bet. It's a ruin, but they are rumoured to sleep beneath it in the cellars. So I have an idea of where we may get in. Once we get there, one of you might have a better idea of how to get in from there. But I'm pretty sure it's not.
Where do they sleep again?
Tressendar Manor.
In a cellar or something?
Beneath it, yeah. The Tressendar Manor is a ruin.
Do you think we could trap them in that?
It's a manor. It's pretty large, and they will have other exits and entrances, I'm sure.
How about we go find out?
It's not exactly it's not a cottage basement, sir. It is like a manor. You are familiar with what a manor is, yes?
Yeah, he doesn't have any.
Clearly. But with that, shall we proceed? Shall we head out to the east? You can't really miss it, and he sort of points off to the east, and as you look over the top of the small building in front of you, you can see a winding path leads up a hill, and on the hilltop is what is left of an old manor house, and it looks pretty fucked up from where you're at.
Looks like a fucking rat's nest, fit for fucking rats.
That would not be a untrue statement, Arcos.
As I take we're all going up there, so as we're getting up, I'd like to see if I can spot any guards.
You would, Tressendar, he would lead you to the bottom of the hill, firstly. It won't take you too long to get there. It's just right on the outskirts of town. From the bottom of the hill, I need to just bring up something here. Doesn't seem to be any guards posted at all. Not that you can see.
Would you like to make me? Would I be able to make a perception?
You can roll a perception check if you wish. You all actually, what we can do here is you all can if you want.
2-8.
Well, you probably, everyone can roll it anyway. So 16 from Zankis. And we've got, what do we got here? Oh, we got a natural 20 from Youngblood.
Go Youngblood.
17 from Who. You're all pretty high, so yeah, you're all sort of waiting, sort of standing down the bottom of this hill here. You're looking up, you're looking around, and yeah, you don't see any movement at all. Youngblood, you don't see any movement, but what you do see is, and you all probably see this, is there's definitely a clear trail of footprints leading to and from this particular place. It looks like they have no intention to hide their comings and goings from this place. I would imagine they're quite brazen about it. In fact, they believe that they are the force to be reckoned with in Phandalin. So they have become quite arrogant, it seems. And that kind of holds true with the encounter you had with him. Like this dark armored individual did not seem to be worried at all when they first attacked you. Obviously those worries were misplaced, because clearly you did quite well. I mean, you took a bit of a knock, but you managed to deal with them. You move further forward still. How do you proceed forward? Do you go? Are you guys going into a more quiet, stealthy-like situation, or are you just gonna move up to the main house itself? How are we going to proceed?
Yeah.
I'm gonna stealth.
Yeah, it's more stealthy. approach.
Okay, so stealth rolls, everyone, please. So we'll take an average across the team. Natural 20 from Zankus. Who with an 8? So it's a little low there, but the natural 20 will definitely offset that. I suppose I should roll one for... this is a +2. So he gets a 14. Why is that not coming up? That should be a public roll. That's weird. Didn't show up on mine. Anywho.
It's been doing that all night.
That's weird. Oh, I know what that is. That'll be another setting that I've done. But he got a 14 anyway. So with that, you proceed forward, leaving yourselves to be stealthy as hell. Zankus, you make no sound at all. You are very light-footed. Who's a little noisy? Not too noisy, but his footfalls are a little louder than you'd like, but don't seem to attract any attention. You move up to the manor house itself, and like I said, it stands in ruins. The roof is caved in on many parts. The front door is no longer there. The walls, a lot of them is just now framework, as a lot of the timbers have rotted away. A lot of the floorboards and that still remain, but again, rotted through. As you move around, I will get you to make a collective investigation roll as you start looking for an entrance to the cellar. I mean, you got a rough idea of where it would be located, normally to the rear of the house. You do have to be careful of the rotting timbers and such. Youngblood is not too good with the old investigation. He's maybe preoccupied.
Yeah, wasted the nat 20s.
And another nat 20. Holy shit!
I know, right?
Wasting the nat 20s on the checks. So with a nat 20, 16, 19, you guys easily enough. I mean, Zankus, you almost go directly to it. You know it's at the rear. You know it's normally at the rear of a property or to the side. So you head around the left-hand side and you spot the old stairs leading down into this basement area. You wait for the others to sort of catch up as they meet sort of there, and Sildar says, "Well, I guess this is it." Once you're inside, be careful. I'm not sure how many are inside. It's hard to tell how many there are. There's always several of them in town. Be on, have your wits about you at least. And he draws his sword and takes the first step down towards the cellar area. And that's where we're going to call tonight's session.
Well, fine.
Because I know what's coming, and I don't want you guys to get into a partial combat potentially. So,
just for argument's sake, I turn to Arcos and go, "Truce for now." Hand out.
Okay, well, we'll play this moment out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And he'll stick his hand out. And
Just
shake
see
your
in the
hand.
background doing a slow clap smile.
How does who react to this moment?
Still,
What?
stands there shaking his head.
Yeah, and Arcos will move in a little closer to Xanxus. He's like, you realise Big Green's getting his rocks off now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yes, as I said, guys, that will be where we call tonight's session, because the next session, our would be. Oh, I can't even call you guys heroes at the moment, because you're not really heroes. You're kind of douchebags. But our would-be group of adventurers, will be entering a place called the Redbrand Hideout. And I don't want them to get too much into it tonight, because we're almost on that 3-hour mark. So I think that's definitely enough for one evening. Firstly, a few things before we finish up. Thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you to Tabletop Arcade for dropping in another raid. You guys are awesome. Make sure you go check out Tabletop Arcade. Check out Taffy and the crew. Taffy, I believe, is the runner of the Tabletop Arcade channel. He hung out with us the other day during the map stuff. So definitely go check them out when you can. A good little bunch of people over there doing things and stuff in the D&D realms. Now we're going to go around and get some moments from tonight. I clipped a couple of things, because there's a couple of good moments here that I think I might actually make a couple of shorts out of for YouTube, because they were funny as hell. So I'll sort that out at some point. So can I get Grim, can I get you to roll a D4, please? We're gonna do this a little different. Two. JJ, that means you start. So we'll get a moment from you about your character, and a moment from somebody else.
Of course, me squishing that motherfucker's head.
Yeah, that was a cool moment. Natural 20 when he had literally, like, he had 5 hit points left. You only did 4 damage, but with a natural 20, he was like, nah, fuck that shit. Natural 20. I mean, technically we should have doubled it anyway, or maximized the damage and then rolled again. But for some reason just with what's happening at the moment, it's not really rolling that way. So why not?
Yeah.
And it was a good moment.
Really cool moment. There's so much moments.
There was. It was. So pick one from another character or the DM.
Probably Grim and Trashy going back and forth through the whole session was really fun. And yeah, it was really cool. And who just making a sly comment about the bull getting tied up out of nowhere. It was just out of character for him a little bit. And it was just him sticking up. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, Dara's a little quiet, but I think who's just observing people at the moment, sort of sucking it all up and sort of taking it all in and waiting for his moment to shine. And I think when it happens, it's going to be pretty epic. So
that's it for me.
That's it from you. So let's roll a D4 again. We'll get JJ to roll it this time. So it's a custom roll of a D4. 1, so that'll be Trashman.
For me, it's Xanxus is he's slowly changing. Slowly.
Very slowly. Very, very slowly.
Arcos being pissed off with Xanxus, loving it.
Definitely. We get a coin flip from someone. Now we got, we'll actually do a coin flip between Era and Arcos. So one of you guys hit the coin flip.
Yeah, I logged out, so...
Okay, we'll get Arcos to do it. So that'll be Arcos, that's you. Number 1.
I think for tonight, the DM and the Minotaur and stuff, I just thought that was really cool and a nice touch that as a DM who's run the story and understands the way Harbin is, and I'm like, that's really cool. I think that's a really good choice there.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see if he comes into play and sort of that. I thought, oh god, we're gonna be fucking torched alive in this building, and you're sort of like, and then you had him come up in the dark and fucking smash the shit out of him. I was like, oh yeah, this is really cool. I like this character already.
he may come back in at some point.
Yeah, so I thought that was really cool, and an offset to Harbin Wester, who is who he is.
He's an absolute coward, definitely.
Yeah. I did like the back and forth between Arcos and Xanxus, but I like that quip about, oh, you're a magic user, how about you use mirror image and go fuck yourself? Yes. And I'm like, yeah.
Definitely.
Thank God.
Definitely. And Mr. Era, a moment for you, your character was a little quiet tonight, but any moments that stood out for you?
He had some spots, as like when he stood up in the town and said, like he ties him up, fence post, and then the realization from Youngblood that the big fella came and split that guy in two, like that was pretty cool. I got a few, like the DM and the way that went with that guy.
Yeah,
that was pretty good. And Grim and Trashy, like the crankiness after that kill and how it went into town, and it's just so good.
It was very good. Like I said, I'll go around everybody. So for Xanxus tonight, just him staying in that character, like that, literally that cranky douchebag guy that just is coming across really, really selfish and just wants to. It's all about the money. It's all about him, and you're really portraying that really, really well. For Youngblood, that persistence that Youngblood has, really trying to get everyone to work together. He understands from his this probably comes from his background too. He understands that teamwork is essential in any situation. If you've got one person that's just not quite there, the whole team could break down, and it could mean life and death for somebody. So JJ, well done for that. You're playing that part exceptionally well. For Arcos, again, Grim, just the RP playing Arcos the way that I sort of imagine Arcos would be in that moment where it's like, okay, this fucking guy, he's threatened me, he knows something, I need to question him. And then having Xanxus come along and deal that final blow, it's like, you fucking dickhead. I knew that was going to play off, and again, you both played that exceptionally well. And Era too, like, just, I think in combat, you played the role of a cleric exceptionally well, and as a combat cleric. Dropping the Toll of the Dead, it's a cantrip, it's a really good cantrip, well utilized on that, and then obviously the healing word on Xanxus to keep him alive was always good. But yeah, just the way you run your cleric, the way you think about the way you spells, what spells you need, and how you want to play as a character, I think is very well thought out. RP wise, like I said, a little quiet tonight, but there was those moments. Like I said, I think Who's just one of those people who'll sit back and observe, and then he'll pick a moment, and then he'll say something. And it, like I said, the whole comment about the Minotaur and being tied up, those kind of moments, I think that's going to come through more and more. And he may evolve a little bit through the story as well and become a little bit more open. The one part that stood out for me for Who was when he woke Arcos to ask him about what was going on, about whether you could help, which I thought was a pretty cool just a little small moment. It may not have come to much, but whether that comes to play a little bit later on between Arcos and Who, whether that has endeared Arcos to Who a little bit, who knows? We'll see how that sort of plays out. Just that expressive concern rather than the direct hey, what the fuck do you know? You know something, fucking tell me, kind of thing. It was more of a softer approach.
Hey, what's wrong with that?
Sometimes we know a bullet gate does not quite work all the time.
Maybe.
So direct approach is not always the best one, Trash. But again, thank you so much, chat, for hanging out with us tonight. That was an amazing story. You guys are awesome, as always, coming hanging out and spending time with us here on the Evldoa's channel. Tomorrow night will be some more map making. I'm going to finish off Grandel Villa. All we've got left on that is some shadows and bits and pieces to do. And then I'm not here Friday because I've got my home game Friday. I may do a bonus stream on Saturday. We don't know yet. I haven't really decided, but other than that, we're back Sunday at the very least with the VTM Q&A. So we finished our Vampire the Masquerade, and we will be doing our Q&A with players and storyteller for that on Sunday. Jazael, welcome. Hello from France. Well, bonjour. Hello from New Zealand. And thank you for the follow. Appreciate that too. So with that, before we go, we're going to say goodbye from Mr. Trashman. So Trashy is a long-standing member of this community. You will see him in multiple campaigns. You'll also see him 2 weeks' time on a Sunday doing some more D&D as we reopen and re-explore the realm of Paradigm with our second homebrew campaign, Paradigm 2 Shadows Embrace, where he will play another asshole character by the name of Uth.
I meant to have to do more talking, damn it.
Kinda. So again, for a reminder of players for Paradigm 2, we'll be starting on the 4th of September. Get reacquainted with your character. Remember the letters that were sent to you at the end of the last session. If you don't have them, they should be in where I sent them to you. If you don't have them, you need them again, let me know so I can resend them to you. Because those letters may come into play possibly in the next episode or two. Mina, what's up? Dilly has probably driven Earth crazy. I would say Various has probably driven LV crazy, from what I understand. So, JJ, can we get tell us what you are, where you do, how you do, what you're doing, all that sort of stuff. Most of us who are here know already, but for those that don't know, where they can find you.
Follow me down here somewhere, Twitch TV /JJ Aussie Punk. Mostly do my wrestling, EFED, my own wrestling type company called ABW. Had a really good week over there. Evil's character smashed it all week nearly.
Yes, my character's had an absolute blinder over there at the moment.
Grim over there is our world champion.
It's Grim's the world champion. My character is the Aussie and US champion.
Yes, so the two people here are my main champions, which is really cool. But yeah, that's just mostly what I do. I do sometimes try to do other games, just depends on how I feel and shit. Yeah, that's me.
But definitely go check out JJ, guys. As I say, he does an amazing EFED over there on his channel, which Grim, myself, and a few others are a part of. Lots of fun. Talking about Mr. Grim, I know we haven't seen you on the streaming platform for a little while, but there's always a chance of a return.
Yes, well, I've slowly getting back my Thursdays at least. I can't promise you I will go live tomorrow, but you never know. And you can find me here.
Definitely.
I do, at the moment, I've pretty much just done point-and-click adventure games from the 90s, and I'll probably mainly do that for a while, but I am very interested in board games at the moment. I was thinking, might do a bit of that sort of content. Also mod for the gentleman who will speak next about his channel, so that's kind of what I'm up to.
No problem. Oh, excuse me. Burping there. So, Mr. Eric Code.
Can I interject just one thing?
Sure.
So, Giselle would like to know how Eric came up with his character name.
Yes, enlighten us with the who, what, now, where, Mr. Eric.
It was kind of... I don't know whether anyone remembers a show called Welcome Back, Kotter. there was a fella on there, Vinny Barbarino, which was John Travolta, and he always used to get confused: who, what, where, how, why, and yeah, it kind of come out of that. When I came out with who, because he's an owl, and I thought, hey, this will go well. So
Kind of ties it in. And as a cleric, no, he's not a doctor, so it's not Doctor Who. Just so we're
No,
clear.
I'm not a doctor. I don't have a TARDIS.
So, speaking of who and Mr. Aircode, Era, let us know what you're up to and where people can find you.
Yep. Links there or in the chat.
Link above his head and in the chat, guys.
Above my head and in the chat. All the stuff's in the bio for the YouTube Gilded, Twitter, etc. Shooter games, driving games, survival games, a bit of everything, depending on what's sort of running at the moment. And Grim and Evil both, and JJ, all mod for me.
Yeah, 3 of us mod
All
for me.
three. Yeah.
Awesome. Cheers, Giselle. So as I said, I also mod for JJ as well. We kind of all mod for each other a little bit back and forth. So JJ's a mod for me. I mod for JJ. So it's all
mod for Grim.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a bit of a helping hand around the world here a little bit. But we've all known each other for quite some time, either through content creation or through modding, through playing games as well. But as I said, this is what we do every Wednesday night for the moment, and on Sundays, starting on the 4th, we'll be back into the homebrew world where you'll see many of these faces. This one below me, the one beside me, and you'll see Mina, and you'll see Baz, who you would have seen on the VTM stuff, coming back as well and playing some characters there. Should be a bit of fun. And Mr. Drax is also a mod for me, will be in that show. But without any further ado, we should probably raid somebody, because that's generally what we do on a night like this.
It's the thing to do.
It's the thing to do, especially when we've been raided and we have a lot of viewers, which is always good. As I say, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Always appreciate you guys hanging out and sharing our story and getting to know these characters as well. And we will see. Ooh, we got. Are we going to raid Lost Archives? We haven't raided them for a little while. How long have they been going for? We'll look here. Bear with me, my streaming PC is a little slow when I got everything open. Come on. Right, so while that's doing its thing, thank you, Giselle. I appreciate that. These guys are awesome. These guys are doing the good job. I create a story, I give them the story, and they play it, and they tell the story from their perspective. So without these guys, the story would not come alive. So I really appreciate what they do and how they play the characters. Bear in mind that JJ is a relatively new player to D&D. He's played a few things. He's played a couple off camera with Grim as a DM, and he's done a mini adventure with me as well. Aircode has also done an off camera one with Grim as a DM, and he played an NPC on another channel that we were all part of as well. So Era and JJ are both relatively new to D&D, so they are again doing exceptionally well in their characters. So this is our raid. If you've got the raid emote, guys, use it. If not, use whatever emote you can. Let them know where you come from. Let them know that you've come from the Evil's lair and you are Evil's minions coming to raid his channel. And we will see you guys tomorrow night doing some more map stuff. Until then, take care. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.